Hello and welcome to another detailed video of GJ Management Consultants. So the topic today is beyond future-proofing, building an adaptable enterprise. So in our earlier video, we showcased why 90% of business fail in couple of years. Then we came up with that what needs to be done in the very first year so that we could sustain long. Then we created a video that what is the methodology through which we can future-proof our business. But the reality today is that even future-proofing is not enough. What we have to do, we have to make sure that we are in a situation wherein we are continuously adapting to the ever-changing environment so that we could able to sustain in the market in the long run. So instead of we being creating a kind of a future proofing, it's a beyond future proofing kind of scenario. So let's just quickly start the video and see what's in there for us. Okay. So, the new reality, adapt or obsolete, from resilience to continuous reinvention. I think this is very much important because with the ever-changing environment, it has to be continuous rather than being changed once and assume that it is going to stay for long. So, because the ever-changing environment also have triggered a kind of a concept wherein it has to be continuous reinvention and continuous learning and continuous improvement. So let's see then. Future proofing was yesterday goal. Yes. So it was yesterday a goal, wherein we created a kind of a scenario. We have some information that how we are going to look at the market in a couple of years, and then we create a kind of a mechanism wherein we could able to absorb the risk which would arise in the future. But that is a yesterday goal because you never know that how future itself is going to get changed, which means that strategy that we have created today to de-risk ourselves in the future will go for a toss if environment itself goes change. So which means that what we need to do, we have to be adaptive ourselves, which means we need to adapt the changes as it come rather than plan something for a particular change which may itself become obsolete in the future. Organization must evolve as living system, continuously sensing, learning, and adjusting. Very true. So, as I mentioned, that it is of very much of relevance that instead of we being creating a change which is going to have impact in the future, and then we assume that this is going to be the way it has to be resolved, or we have to take this action for this particular change. This is not going to sustain now, because changes themselves are evolving, changes are getting changed themselves. So which means that continuous adoption, continuous learning, continuous adjusting is a key nowadays. If we are not able to adjust to these continuous changes, continuous adjustments, and continuous risks that are coming up, then we are going to be out of the business very soon. The pace of the disruption has outgrown the static defense strategies. Very true. So which means that the strategies that we have created to de-risk our business will become obsolete very soon because those are static, and our disruptions are going to be outgrown, and disruptions are coming with so much of a change, and so much of disruption is coming that it is very difficult for us if we have a single static strategy to prevent those kind of changes. So instead of we preventing the changes, it's that we should adapt the change. Our strategy should be that how changes which is going to come in the future, we have the tendency to adopt those changes, and then we could able to absorb those kind of shocks which would be arise in the future. So key is that adaptation is the key, and we have to make sure that we will be continuous involving rather than assuming that a static strategy that we have created to risk our future is going to sustain for the long. That is a myth nowadays. So let's just see what adaptation actually mean. Okay. So I think it's better that we should quickly have a look at what was failing in the future proofing strategy before we can actually jump in to understand the adaptation actually mean to the business. So why future proofing falls short? We said that we need to have the future proofing, but what is there that it is falling short of? Let's just quickly have a look at that. It assumes a predictable future which no longer exists. Obviously, when we create a strategy and we assume that we are going to have a strategy to prevent the kind of the nuances that are going to arise in the future, and we create a strategy to manage that, it is not going to work because our strategy is static. and our future is unpredictable. You cannot predict the future, how it's going to shape up with ever-changing environment, ever-changing environment with respect to the culture, with respect to the regulatory matters, with respect to the way things are evolving, with the kind of technology interventions that is coming up. So it's difficult to predict that what's going to be the future for us. So which means that a predictable future is, there's no concept of predictable future. So future itself is unpredictable, but in case we could able to predict something with the help of the AI technology today, still you cannot anticipate that how it's going to shape up when it actually comes. So that was pitfall for why future proofing falls short. Defensive strategy limit innovation. So if we create a strategy to defense the kind of the change, or we create a strategy to resist the change, then it is not going to work. We have to figure out that how we could able to adapt those change, so that we are in a continuous evolution state, and evolution will definitely give rise to the innovation. So innovation is the key nowadays. So instead of avoiding the change, adapt the change, and keep innovating. Prepared one's thinking cannot survive change always, obviously, Paul. Because when we're talking about changes are going to be permanent nowadays, which means that changes are something the reality is going to be. And if we think that we are preparing a strategy that we can only look for one change, and assume that that is going to only happen in the future, then definitely we are failing ourselves. Because if you're preparing once and assuming that it is going to stay, it's not going to. So I think these are the pitfalls of future-proofing scenario. Let's quickly have a look at what adaptation means to us then. Okay, so uh, what is adaptability to us? Adaptability means that agility plus intelligence plus culture. And just have a look at that. Agility, rapid response to changes through modular operation. So if we are agile enough and our response time is very, very quick, then obviously our probability to stay in the business is going to increase multiple fold, because we have reacted very quickly to a change. And in fact, if we already had a strategy wherein we have created a proactive approach to manage those changes, that it is going to help us even better. So agility is the speed with which we accept the change and create the strategy to overcome the change, have the proper change management strategy to implement the change that has been introduced. So that is going to be the key nowadays. Intelligence, the using of AI data and insights to anticipate these shifts. Obviously, with the kind of intelligence which has been brought up into the data with the help of the AI, that is going to be the key. The simulation, the multiple data models that are there, that helps us to figure out how we could able to shape our strategy basis the multiple simulation model. And that is a way through which we could create a strategy to prevent, not so to prevent, basically to adopt the changes more proactively and in a fashion manner, so that we could able to get the process which are going to get impacted by the change right in the very earliest part of it, rather than waiting and see that how it is going to impact our entire business at the later stage. And then culture, empowering the employees to innovate, fail fast, and learn continuously. So any change will definitely introduce a kind of a training element in the current ways of working. And if we could not able to adopt those changes, our operations are going to get loosened, and definitely it will be having a direct impact on our customers. So we have to make sure that our operations get stitched to the changing environment. If at all we need to tweak some processes, we need to do that really fast. Fail fast, and then again make the course correction fast. So in and all, it's like agility, culture plus intelligence. These are the key. But how these key will, embed themselves to create a framework. So we need to have framework whereby we could bring this adaptation culture within the organization. So in the next slide, we'll quickly speak about that framework. So let's move to the next slide then. Okay. So adaptive enterprise framework. Agility isn't a department, it's a design principle. Let's quickly have a look at our framework principles then. Digital agility, cloud first modular architecture. So I think our framework should ensure that we are digitally aligned, we are digitally equipped to manage our entire data with the latest technology. And logic is that cloud first. So instead of being independent on a particular location and waiting for making sure that we have the enough security, I think everything should be in the cloud. And with the data models and the data security that we have today, that ensures that even cloud data is absolutely safe, and we can move ahead with any kind of data in the cloud with the proper security. So that should be our key. If we have to make sure that we have to be adaptive, because otherwise, if changes are come, then we need to do the changes in the multiple data centers. So instead of having all those problems in the data state, we need to be have a kind of scenario wherein cloud first model architecture should be there. Human agility and cross-functional empowered team, this is a key, and I think this is there since inception. I mean, when we run the organization, we know that how we can empower our cross-functional team, but with the evolution of the technology, this has now become more important, because changes itself are now becoming very, very common these days. So adaptability of those changes, making sure that people are trained to manage the change in the process, and then how the cross-functional pollination of the resources can be made, how fungibility of resources can be created, and how the output of one department is being consumed by the other department. So all those cross trainings needs to be the key in these changing environment. Strategic agility, real-time scenario planning, and pivot capability. So which means that, as I mentioned, that data scenario modeling, all this has to be done on the real-time basis. What if analysis to be done continuously, so that we are ready to any kind of the changes that is going to come, and we need to make sure that our existing processes are going to get adapted and stitched on the basis of those what if scenarios. And then cultural agility, growth mindset plus psychological safety to innovate. So people should have that kind of the mindset that agility is the key. They have to be agile, and they have to make sure that with every learning, it's an opportunity for them to empower themselves with the new innovation strategy. They have a power to rethink more, come up with the new ideas, so that they could able to make their operations or make their work easy and better. And this is the key today, because if this is not going to happen, then obviously the relevance of them in the and organization is going to be questioned. So if they have to make themselves relevant, they have to be make sure that the growth mindset has to be there, so that they can work accordingly. So with this, let's just quickly move to the next slide and see what is there for us. Okay, so what are the enablers of adaptability? Technology drive changes, adaptability sustains it. So AI and automation continuous learning loop. I mean, very obvious, because the way the things are moving, the way things are changing, and the technology is evolving. So automation and AI has to be continuous loop. Automation should be enhanced with the AI technology. AI should give more ideas which can be automated in the best way, and then we could have a kind of a scenario wherein we can create a process even touchless. So that should be be our endeavor, so that human dependency can be reduced to the minimal. Having said that, we are not saying that AI will remove, or let's say replace humans or substitute human. There has to be synergy. I've already mentioned, and we have covered that topic in length in AI plus human synergy. Dynamic talent model, hybrid skills and flexible roles. So people should have hybrid skill. So instead of having only domain knowledge, they should have expertise in the AI or technology quotient as well. So which means that they can equip themselves, empower themselves, and they themselves become best sustainable with the ever-changing demand and the ever-changing rules that are coming up. Customer co-creation, building with the market, not for it, which means that customers who are going to also get impacted, they also need to be equally involved in co-creation of the transformation roadmap, in the technology roadmap, so that whatever is being created, they are aware, and how it's going to impact their ecosystem, they should have the full understanding of it. So instead of we making something as a transformation roadmap alone, it's not going to work. It's a co-creation these days. So it has to be created along with the customer, so they are absolutely clear that how these changes are going to impact their entire business modeling as well. And then decentralized decision making, empowered micro leadership. So which means that people should have a delegation of authority. I think this was also made very clear in the first session, where we said that important things that we need to in the first year, and decentralization was also one of it, which means that people should give delegation to the relevant people, and then they are empowered to take the decision. This is that delegation. So these are like key enablers to adaptability. Let's just quickly move to the next slide and see that how GJ, what is the GJ approach to manage this adaptation. Okay, so what we are saying is that transform once, no, transform continuously, yes. So we have to transform continuously. We have to diagnose the adaptability gaps on a continuous basis. And we have to make sure that any kind of the adaptation gap should be implemented at the earliest to avoid any kind of the risk to the business because of the changes. Embed AI-driven sensing capabilities. Again, a simulation model which test a what-if scenario at a frequent intervals and give us the best result, and then we can take a course correction basis those, and then a restructure for speed and resilience. So if we need to make some changes in the organization model, if we need to changing in the operating model, let's bring those changes so that we can do the restructure to ensure that we have the speed and the resilience to it. And then finally, our approach is to build leadership confidence for constant evolution. So identify the adaptability gap, continuous simulation, restructure with the speed, and then constant evolution and build the leadership confidence. So these are the key mantras of GJ management consultant team to create a kind of adaptable environment for their clients. Let's just quickly move to the final slide of this and see what is there. So resilience helps you survive, adaptability helps you lead. Resilience is equal to survive shock. Obviously, if we have a proper resilience methodology, then definitely we could able to absorb all these shocks. We could survive those shocks. The goal is that not just to withstand change, but to capitalize on it, create opportunities because of the changes that has come into it, capitalize on those opportunity, and create a kind of environment which will boost your business rather than you being getting overpowered with the change. Adaptability is equal to anticipate plus evolve plus lead. So I think these are some of the key thoughts that we have on the adaptability, and we know that this is the key nowadays. If we are not able to adapt the ever-changing environment, we are going to lose the market share. We are going to be out of the market very soon. So with this, we have come to the end of this session. Let's just quickly look at the last slide and see what message we have. Okay, so we have come to the key takeaway slides. So our key takeaways at GJ is that an adaptable enterprise doesn't just react to the future; it became the future. So which means that if we are adaptive, and we have adopted all the changes, we have absorbed the changes, then we are the reflection of the future. Rather than future hovering on us, we are ready to manage any kind of the challenges that's going to come. So at the GJ Management Consultant, empowering organization to adapt, transform, and thrive. So this is the last slide. Let's quickly look at the topic for the upcoming videos. Okay, so the topic for the upcoming video is going to be the adaptive leader, rewiring leadership for continuous change. So we are going to create both short video as a teaser, and then we are going to create a detailed video, which will help you to have the better understanding on the subject. And with this, we close our session. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for watching this video to the full. My request to all the viewers is to please review this video, watch this video till the end, share this video, and disseminate the knowledge that you have gained from this video. And also subscribe our channel. Please do write back to us in the comment section for any suggestions or thoughts you have. We are very much there to provide any solution to any of the challenges that you are facing, and we are very open for any suggestions and feedback. Thank you, and all the best.